loaf, slice of bread, loaf, butter, butter, loaf, eureka!
Is it on my hat?
Matt was born on September 26, 1963. He had 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and Andy, Tim, Fran, and Maggie. He was born when his parents were, I think, in their 40s. So his siblings were already much older than him. So he was kind of raised like an only child. He said he had a good childhood. He went to a lot of places with his parents, camping, Yosemite, I think, different national parks. He didn't like to do his chores. His mom would tell him to vacuum the room. He would go into his bedroom, turn on the vacuum so it would make noise, and then take the door and open and close it so it would sound like he was moving the vacuum. And then he would stand and try with his feet to make the tracks that the vacuum makes. So in other words, it's like way more work than if he had vacuumed.
My name is Mark Britton. Matt has been one of my best friends for over 40 years. I met him back in 1976 in junior high in Mr. Wilson's woodshop class. Even back then, he was into bad puns and jokes and loved to play pranks on people. That was Matt. Yeah, hanging out with Matt as a kid, I was never bored. Always something to do, always something to laugh about. That was Matt.
My name is Mark Padilla. I've known Matt since 1993. I first met him in a trade class at Chaffey Community College in Rancho Cucamonga. And I asked a question in class, and he looked at me and said, "Hey dude, that's a good question." And then right after class, he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, you want to go drink some beer in my car?" So we went and drank some beer in his car and hung out, and we never stopped being friends.
You know, knowing him back then and knowing his parents, I'm sure he got his sense of humor from his dad, Rod, and his, love for local history from his mom, Mel.
We like to talk a lot about Los Angeles too, because he was absolutely, he knew this city it was crazy the amount of knowledge he had.
You know, we loved the Lakers and Dodgers. You know, he loved everything LA. You know, he was just an LA file or whatever, you know. And
not only he was fun to be around, but he was actually very knowledgeable on a lot of matters.
And he was smart. He was good at math.
We would always argue politically, but that's the other thing about him. He would always have an open mind. You know, he wouldn't be just so hardcore. He would listen to you, into what you had to say.
He's just a guy you could just hang with and talk about anything at a barbecue, you know, have a beer, just talk about anything. Any subject, total, chill, cool guy.
I don't know how we ended up going on a date, really. I can't remember. Because I didn't like him when I met him. Yeah, he just was kind of, he strutted around the stage and chewed gum, and he said he wanted to look like a dick on stage. So I gave him a chance, and we went on a date, and it turned out he was a very sweet and not to be that arrogant person who was on stage.
When he would like pick up the guitar and start playing and singing and whatever, it's like he just went into like this other world of like, I'm like a metal god. The legs out, you know, like, you know, just instantly goes nuts. I'm Chris. I was in a band with Matt. I was the rapper in Straight Jacket. When I moved to LA, I was kind of like in the process of bottoming out. Matt had an ad on Craigslist. It said, "Do you rap and play guitar?" And I was like, yes, absolutely, I do both of those things. And so I responded, and he wrote me right back. I did the one rehearsal, I was rapping when they were playing their songs, and it was just like, you had a bond, right? Just by like walking in the room. When I came in, it was a 3-piece band, and then I added the rap, and then I played rhythm guitar. And Matt was for sure the band leader, the glue that held us all together, the motivator, you know, the orchestrator. Yeah, we just hit it off, man. And then I became rapper, guitar player.
He's the reason I got back into drumming. After a year hiatus, my buddy Kyle had hit me up, said he was jamming with this guy. The band was called Straight Jacket. So I show up to jam just to see what's going on, and Matt was just excited the whole time. He just loved it. He was having a blast. I was having a blast. By the time we were done, he just comes up to me and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "if you want it, you got it." You know, and I knew at that moment it was like, okay, cool. He likes my style, I like his style, and we're gonna do something here.
I went to one of Matt's concerts. You saw him like fully alive. It was impressive, you know.
He told me he was in a band, and I went to see it, and it was amazing. It was like incredible guitar player, virtuoso, all over the stage, tons of energy, enthusiasm. It's phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was incredible. It was like metal and rap and mixed together with amazing energy. And I was like, man, you know, I'm a film composer, so we put his songs in a few movies, and one of them was Two-Headed Shark Attack with Brooke Hogan, and I put his song in the beginning of the movie. It just totally fit the movie perfectly. It was so awesome. I met Matt at Home Depot with Marilyn, and I was wearing this shirt that it said on the back had all these guitars on it, and it said "Life is full of important choices." And Matt is like, "Hey, cool shirt, man." And I was like, "Oh, right on, thanks," you know, and that was it, right? I literally lived like on the next block up here. Literally, like later on that day, he's walking the dog, and I'm like, dude, you know, hey, we saw each other at the Home Depot, and you know what I mean? Like, you're my neighbor and all this shit. So that's how we met.
just hit it off, you know, right away. I think it was like literally the next day, he calls me up and he's like, we need a bass player, you wanna go play bass? I'm like, yeah, sure, but I don't have any of my instruments or anything here. He's like, oh, don't worry about that, I got plenty. So I was like, fuck it, let's go. And he came and picked me up. Just after that, it was just like, we were just like best friends. It was just, I don't know, it was just chemistry or whatever.
Then in the mid-90s, I started working in the film business, and I would bring Matt along on some gigs, and he was hooked. I mean, you know, he shortly after that, then he went to Cal State Fullerton for film, and yeah, I've never had another friend that had the same passion, that shared the same passion as I do for film, and that was Matt. I mean, he loved the film business through and through.
I'm arguing with the hatchet again. Stupid hatchet. Look at me. Look at the hatchet. You had something to do with this, didn't you?
We work on sets and shit a lot together, and he was just like, he was the life of the set, you know, like he would make everybody laugh, and he would tell dick and butt jokes like on set. He didn't give a fuck where he was.
The one thing I'll say about Matt is he would bring that same sense of humor with him. Some of the pranks he would pull on set, I mean, you could have the worst day ever, and you know, you could count on Matt to bring a smile to your face and give you something to laugh about on the way home, you know. It's sad to see that his life was cut short. I mean, with someone with so much passion and spirit, and to lose a friend, a lifelong.
Hi, I'm James. I was so sad my gramps died, and also I'm 7 3/4, and me and my gramps were best friends.
Matt always called himself a family man. He always said he was a family man, and he was.
I need socks bad.
3, go.
I mean, Fiona, when she met Matt, this tiny little girl, she just immediately was drawn to him.
Well, I'm off to war.
Well, good luck then.
Bye.
When James was born and came home from the hospital, Matt was the one who carried him up the stairs and into the house. I think from that moment, they were best friends.
In summer, this is the funniest part. We did shirtless summer. That means we just take our shirts off.
Really, Graham? Just like that?
Yep.
How about they can be like a horn on top of your car, and then I can say it through the horn really loud. It'll be like, "Come on, Fiona, get in the car!"
That's exactly what it's going to be.
With the grandkids, with Fiona and James, he was their primary caregiver. He got them up in the morning, he made their breakfast, got their lunches for school, took them to school, picked them up, did play dates. He was one who went to birthday parties. He just was always there for them.
Matt for me was obviously family, but like real family, like family that's there, that's next to you. I saw him as a great father, a great grandfather. Like, he's so wonderful with kids, and he's so funny.
The guy was constant, and it was ridiculous all the time. You know this, the kind of jokes that you really just can't laugh at, but you know you're exploding.
You come downstairs into the lab, and he'd just have his pants down. He's like, "Ah, made you look."
Sometimes as people get older, they tend to become more jaded and slow down. But Matt always had that youthful spark.
It's good tasting and good for you. Chicken enchiladas from Safeway Select.
He used to always say, "It's not hot until it burns twice."
What do you get when you mix a turtle and a donkey? Well, I don't know, but it's probably a hard ass.
Matt would throw himself under the bus first. We both did things like that, but he was much better at it. He'd throw himself under the bus in any conversation first so that somebody could open up and have a good time. I know there's a lot of people in this room who will be able to say that he bailed us out of a couple of situations that we didn't expect to ever be in a weird way. Whether it was up here or anywhere, you know, he was just always there. which is crazy because you look at his life sometimes and you're like, how are you saving my life right now? And he was so good at it. You know, he was so good at that.
Matt's friendship to me at that time in my life, I mean, was everything. I mean, I was in a dark place, man, and to be welcomed by him, I felt like I had found a home. You know, I felt like there was hope, and Matt was always so supportive of everything that I was doing, you know.
When I've had to go to hospital, I didn't tell my parents. I called Matt, and he's the one who took me, brought me back, and that's our friendship. I mean, he had his own idiosyncrasies, but all in all, he was the one person I could depend upon for anything.
I will remember Matt as a person that I could always depend on to be there for me in some way or another. If I asked him for help, he would be there in any way, whether it just be a phone call or if I needed him to go down to, you know, the IE to help me out, he would be there, he'd find a way. And I'll miss that about him.
People loved him, but although he's gone, you know, I have to look at the memories that I've had with him, you know, over a lifetime. Those memories that put a smile on my face are something that I'll never forget, and it's something that nobody could ever take away.
We were just like brothers, and that's the best I could say. He was like my best friend. I miss him every day, I think. Every fucking day. Fucking enchiladas, man. That's what killed him. Those fucking greasy enchiladas.
You're right.
If you gave me